Hey guys, EDDBUD here, and today for you I've got episode 3 of the running news. If you've been enjoying the content of late, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below as to when new videos are launched, and hit that like button. So story 1 today focuses on the shock pre-order launch of the Saucony Endorphin Pro. This one came like a bolt out of the blue, no one was really expecting it. So Saucony have done a very limited pre-order launch of the Endorphin Pro on their website. It did sell out very quickly though. I sadly was too slow. This is their carbon plate equipped shoe, which is set to retail for £190. So it's a tad higher than the Fuel Cell TC and about £30 higher than the slated retail price for the Adidas Adizero Pro. As I say, I missed out on this one, but loads of you lucky people were probably able to pick up a pair for their release, which I think is on the 21st of May. It's an interesting move from Saucony actually. Only recently they said that the shoe was going to be delayed until the start of July, I believe. But that's certainly a positive sign that things are starting to get moving again. It also appears it could be made available in some larger sizes, which is good news for people like Tim Gross and also for Forest of Dean runner Andy. There's lots of conflicting weight numbers for this shoe. I've been trying to pull them all together and make some sense of it. It's certainly an 8mm drop here, and for a US size 9 we're looking at about 213 grams, which is about 8 ounces. I did find a weight measurement for a US size 10, which was 232 grams. It's quite a leap there. I'm not entirely sure that that might be correct, but who knows? So we get them in hand and we can actually measure them on the wife's scales. We just don't know. So it does remain to be seen exactly how lightweight the shoe is. A Vaporfly or Alphafly contender? Only time will tell. Story 2 revolves around Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods recently mentioned to a fan in a QA session if there's anything that he could have done differently in his earlier life, it would have been to not run so much. So Woods, who's now about 44 years old, I can't believe he's 4 years older than me. Doesn't seem right. He explained that he was running about 30 plus miles a week in the first 5 or 6 seasons when he was on the main tour, the PGA Tour. Woods commented that he feels this was perhaps a negative factor. At least now he seems to have loads of issues in terms of his knees. I think he had about 5 different operations on his knees. I think since his comeback he's undergone a number of different operations. I would suggest it's probably unknown as to Woods' recovery and stretching techniques that he puts in place after that running that he did. Those are of course extremely important to help prevent injuries. I'm the sort of guy who ensures he does about 20 to 30 minutes of light range of motion stretching before every single run. Even if it's like an easy run, I still do it. I'm a bit OCD like that. That's a bit crazy. I think the lockdown's finally getting to me. I err with science on this one, and I'm not entirely sure that limiting running like that is going to help. There's been loads and loads of scientific studies over long periods of time that suggest that running has in fact the opposite effect. It can certainly reduce the onset of arthritis, if of course done in moderation. So I think I'm going to take this story and the views of Tiger Woods with a pinch of salt. It's now time for the weekly weather update. Today we're heading across to the weather centre in the Forest of Dean.
Hi Ed, hi everyone, and welcome to the Forest of Dean Weather Centre here in the UK. Temperatures are unseasonably warm at the moment. After a very unsettled weekend, we are moving into another stunning week and weekend, which is going to be great for all of us runners out there. So if you guys are getting out there and running, make sure you're socially distancing yourselves, make sure you're taking extra care, but most importantly, enjoy the weather. For those of you elsewhere in the world, I'm sorry, my satellites do not stretch that far, but I hope you guys are having fun too. Anyway, back to you.
Thank you, Andy. It does appear that the weather always seems to not be that great and then get better as the week goes on. Strange that. I've got to be honest, it's far too hot for me at the moment. I don't get on running around in the heat. I say the heat. It's hot for the UK. For you guys over in California or Australia or something, it's probably quite chilly. It's 18 degrees C now, so for you guys, that's nothing. Story 3 is the delay of the Nike Pegasus 37 in the UK. What's with all the bad news? So the Pegasus 37 did launch over in America, but sadly no dice here in the UK, and we've got to wait possibly until early June. What are they doing to us? What are you doing to us, Nike? A Nike by You version can be ordered, so of course I couldn't wait, and I've ordered a ridiculous hot rod style version, you know, the Autobot hot rod, and hopefully it'll be here soon. Can't wait to get my hands on this one. I think Hot Rod was quite a free-spirited transformer. He was one of the Autobots, and I think he was a little hot-headed. Maybe he didn't think about his actions too much, and that cost him probably a few friends. He probably got into some bad relationships acting like that. But he definitely had some good clobber. The red, the gold, the blue tinted windscreen. He certainly is the Transformer that I would be. Although I always had a soft spot for Soundwave, the Decepticon. And of course, who wouldn't want to be Optimus Prime, right? So I'll throw up a few custom images of my shoe on the screen for you. It's certainly a little more exciting looking than the black or blue variations available right now on the Nike website. Those 4 launch colourways just didn't really inspire me much at all. The blue version perhaps is a little more interesting, but really? I have several other Nike orders that are on hold. They seem to be taking forever to get to their recipients right now. Delivery times for Nike orders do seem to be exceptionally slow, and that does seem to include other parts of the world as well, rather than just the UK. It does seem that stock fulfillment is becoming a bit of an issue for Nike, and Reebok and Adidas are really putting the hammer down. They seem to be seemingly immune from this problem. I've been able to order some stuff from Reebok recently and it's arrived the next day. I think I got one and it was like 18 hours after I ordered it, which is just mad. So let's hope things do return to normal. I know there's a lot of new runners out there that have purchased shoes recently, perhaps even off the back of some of my videos. So I hope those get to you so you can get them on foot and you can get out there and start wearing and grinding them down. Magic Ember upper with the large Nike swoosh in laser orange. We've got the blue Racer Fit Band and the white midsole. Gone for the traditional Racer blue laces. Magic Ember top line of the midsole. Go big, go loud. Beast is keeping a careful eye on these. You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch my recent video. Don't worry, the nasty woman won't put you on eBay. Story 4 is centered around lockdown activities. I'm not talking about playing Monopoly or bingo, or watching really terrible covers of famous songs. Or eating either. I seem to be eating a lot. Oh, sorry, I digress. Let's get back to it. I was very interested recently to see a study of a load of data that Garmin have put out on their website. It documents the change in our exercise habits over the last 6 to 7 weeks. So during that lockdown period, between the middle of March and the end of April, treadmill running through UK, Germany and Sweden was down by 50%. Who would have predicted that? I would have thought that it would perhaps gone up. Although, in fairness, the lockdown rules in those 3 countries were far more lenient and relaxed than others. Outdoor running was particularly on the rise, with a 90% increase in external activities during April. Understandably, with the very strict lockdown in Italy and Spain, outdoor running was strictly off the table. All that data shows people were staying indoors, so well done for that, you guys. It must have been really, really hard. It's a great release getting out there running, getting that fresh air. It must have been incredibly tough for you. So if you've made it through that, then hats off to you. It does seem as if people in the UK have been choosing to get outside to do their exercise rather than doing gym and exercise work indoors. The Garmin statistics recorded only an 8% increase in indoor exercise and activity. Perhaps that's been affected by the improved weather conditions over here in the UK. We have had some really fantastic days and been some great sunshine, although my Polish blood just doesn't deal with that. I like it dim and cold. I like the rain and the wind and the water on the ground. Yeah, it's nasty sun. I don't like it. Means I can't wear my beanie either, and I really like that hat. Love my toque. It does appear in the US people are working out a lot more, but indoors rather than outdoors. Indoor cardio workouts were up 150% on the previous year, but less activity recorded overall. The number of steps recorded was down from a typical number of 8,700 to 7,700 per day. So different parts of the world responding very differently depending on the lockdown rules and exercise rules in those regions. But the most interesting stat here, which kind of links us back a little bit to Tiger Woods, is in Sweden there was a 741% increase in golf. So loads more golf activities have been recorded. It's quite an insane amount. I guess very interesting stuff. There's actually been a 26% decrease in golf activities in the UK at the same time, which typically would be very, very high right now because in June we would have the Open, but of course that's not happening. I guess golf's possibly one sport that you could get away with if you didn't have a caddy and you were just pulling your clubs around yourself. You could feasibly do it. I mean, it's one of the most socially distanced activities, I guess. Okay, that's all the running news for this week. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. An EDDBUD video wouldn't be complete without a musical interlude. I've been listening to this fantastic live album from the Eels. They have in fact done a couple of different live albums, both at the Royal Albert Hall, if I'm not mistaken. This second one features tracks from all through E from the Eels' career, right back from his first album through to his more recent efforts, but played in a completely different way. He's got some fantastic multi-instrumentalists. There's guitar, there's drums, percussion, I think there's some xylophone on there, but he recreates some of the tracks in beautiful fashion. And there's a couple of lovely ballads on here. Very calming. I thoroughly recommend you check this out. E from the Eels, a highly underrated artist. Okay, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below of when new videos are launched. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. Comment below with any of your comments about the running news this week and share this video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you.